or anything further that she would like to present to the court. Ms. Turpin?
I just want to apologize to the victim's daughter. I'm very sorry for what I did, and
Okay.
I really just want to say sorry to her.
Right. Any other statements for the court, Ms. Turpin?
No.
Very well. Court will pronounce sentence in this case at this time. The court hereby establishes count 3 as the base sentence in the case for the offense of computer crime, a severity level 8, non-drug, non-person felony, in which the defendant has a criminal history score of H, thus in grid box 8H. Court hereby sentences the defendant to a term of 9 months in the custody of the Secretary of Corrections, the state of Kansas. On this sentence, the defendant may earn up to 20% of good time credit and would be subject to 12 months of post-release supervision. No fine is imposed on that count. Court does note that in grid box 8H, this would be a presumptive probation case under Kansas law. There does not appear to be a special rule application here or a motion for departure to disturb that presumption. The court will grant the defendant 18 months of initial probation term to be supervised by community corrections. Corrections supervision is deemed appropriate due to the high risk score on the risk needs assessment that was conducted in this case. Conditions of that probation will be to report to an officer as directed, observe all laws, obtain a substance abuse evaluation within 45 days of today's date, and abide by the recommendations of that evaluation. She shall not possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs while on probation. At her ISO's request and at her own expense, submit to random breath, blood, and urinalysis testing, perform any community service work pursuant to any program requirements, gain and maintain employment successfully throughout her probationary term, notify her ISO of any change in employment status, residence, telephone number, or email address within 48 hours of any such change happening, have no contact with the victim in this case or members of the victim's immediate family. She shall submit her DNA to the KBI data bank and be responsible for the $200 cost of the test, abide by any curfew or travel restrictions imposed by her officer, follow all standard conditions of probation, not have in her possession firearms or dangerous weapons, and avoid disreputable characters and places. The defendant shall also make monthly payments on her obligation, a felony docket fee, felony probation fee, community corrections fee, the $200 DNA fee, and a bids application fee. Will also be ordering this defendant to pay $1,305.44 in restitution to the victims in the case as their interest may appear. Ms. Turpin, there's one other order that the court wishes to consider in this case. This court unfortunately has to see many cases where vulnerable people are exploited by others. I wish it was not so prevalent. However, this needs to stop. You are not new to the court system. You have, I believe, 3 prior property crime offenses on your record. So you're not new to this, and yet you exploited this helpless woman who was the victim in this case. And the court does have discretion, despite the fact that the legislature has determined you're not a prison case, that the court can impose up to 60 days in the county jail as a condition of probation. And that's exactly what the court's going to do here, Ms. Turpin.
Please don't.
The court is going to order you to serve 58 days more because you've got 2 days of jail time credit against that sentence.
Can we schedule it?
Starting immediately.
Oh, please don't do
Ms.
this.
Turpin, you are an incredibly poor risk.
I've never done this to anybody
don't
before.
talk over me. Don't talk over me.
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure she's done it
You're
plenty
an
of times.
extremely poor risk to show up in jail on any type of schedule because
I promise I will.
You could even make your sentencing on time today. Further, last time you
the
were
other building.
directing
I've never been there
at the
before.
Judicial Center and you didn't. Look, we're not going to talk over each
I went
other.
to the other building.
I've made my ruling. You're not going to cry your way out of it.
Oh, she's sorry.
I got my grandkids outside.
That's
Again, the court
smoking.
is now 10 days of jail time credit. At some point in the future, Ms. Turpin, you may have the right to seek expungement of this offense. Certain statutory limitations do apply. If you have any question about your right to someday seek expungement, you can address those questions to a lawyer and I'm sure get your questions answered. Under certain limited circumstances, defendants have a right to appeal their conviction to an appellate court having jurisdiction. And if defendants are unable to pay the cost of an appeal, they may ask the court to appoint a lawyer to represent them on appeal and that they be supplied with a transcript of trial court proceedings. Pursuant to KSA 223608C, you, the defendant, have 14 days after this judgment in court to file any notice of appeal with the clerk of the District Court of Butler County, Kansas. You do have the right to appeal this sentence if the court has ruled adversely to you, the defendant, at this hearing. I will remind you that there's prohibitions against a convicted felon possessing a firearm, and that there are losses of certain civil rights, such as the right to vote, until your sentence is fully discharged.
But look,
I wanted to ask you, of all of the financial assessments you were asking the court to impose, has the court covered all of those?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
All right. Mr. Watts, is there anything further from the defense side that the court still needs to address?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. Thank you.